All right, y'all. Two Peas in the Bong in the building again. It's your boy DP.
It's your boy KP.
And trying to understand what the fuck Selection Sunday is about. It's your boy Bong.
Right. Well, man, let's go ahead and jump into that. So I don't want to steal this particular individual's steam. I wanted to
hmm
start with something, but I
hmm
remember this one guy told me. I call him a guy. This one man told me that the SEC. Matter of fact, he told me something about the SEC. KP, can you remind the folks what you've been saying
hmm
about the Southeastern Conference and their basketball teams, please?
This is since the realignment of the SEC. Two teams just joined in this year, Texas and Oklahoma. So they have 16 teams now. And I've been saying this for quite some time. This SEC division is the toughest division.
Uh oh.
Damn.
And I said that
KP,
and I said that they were
KP,
going to
yo, KP, that hamster
what's
is
up? What's up?
working on your internet, man.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, don't
That
tell me
hamster is
that.
working on your internet,
Um,
man.
so
Yes, sir.
so I'm saying the SEC is
Mm-hmm.
the most
Demo. Oh
Man.
man. Up. Engineer already in the building. Death taxes.
Absolutely.
KP's hamster working overtime.
Working overtime every
Uh,
Sunday, man. He's the hamster is scheduled to work Monday through Friday. His office hours are from 9 to 5.
My office hours are from 9 to 5. Man,
Hey.
and it looks like he's frozen again, man. Can't
Oh
get
man.
right.
Can't ban the snowman. Come on, Kev. I believe he was about to talk about the SEC and how competitive of a conference it is, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And I think they had a record. Go ahead, DP.
They broke the record.
Correct.
So they have a total of 16 teams. 14 of those teams are in the tournament. That's
That's
crazy.
insane. Insane.
Yeah,
And what
that is
Kevin and what Kev was trying to say is that, and he actually posted, I think Kev posted a short about it, or he posted a video about it earlier in the season
mhm.
about the SEC and
Mhm.
how they would have so many teams
this ain't cut.
Mhm.
and how they would have so many teams in the tournament, and that he's proven to be a prophet, even though he's not an IT guy
Right.
apparently. Okay,
Look,
okay.
hey,
To
There you
relocate,
go.
man.
don't throw the laptop against the wall, man.
Nah, man, we about to relocate.
There you go. So all right, we'll wait for Ken. There you go. There you go. There you go. For sure. No worries. So
Okay. So, um prior to that, are you ready, KP?
okay.
We're going to let him get
So
his new spot.
yeah, let him get situated. DP, go ahead. Take over. Yeah, for sure. You got it, man. You
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead and
No, prior to that, I believe in he could correct me on the numbers when he gets on. I'll verify this cuz I know he's been really doing some research behind this, but I think it was 11 teams that the most in out of one conference to make the tournament was 11. So 14 by far breaks that.
that's
Like,
nuts.
and then
That's
I mean only two two squads out of your conference don't make it, like that's from top to bottom. That means you guys are dominating, right?
And they
Um,
gotta feel like shit.
oh, yeah, the two squads that didn't make
Right.
it.
Like you had a 94% chance to make it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, and
Woo!
and so the way that this breaks down really, and I mean, there's really no. I was watching the selection uh Sunday or whatever, and there's really no real clear way to break down like what's the formula behind picking a team who goes, right? And I mean, the same goes for college football, right?
Right.
To
Mhm.
some degree, it's not an exact science. So to some degree, there's like an arbitrary process involved, this behind the scenes thing where these committees get together and say, okay, it's a yay on that, nay on that, right?
Right.
Um, but they got these quads, right? They break it down in the quad one, quad two, quad three, and the quad one teams are the top tier programs, right? So
Okay.
I know you guys have heard blue bloods thrown around, and that's when they're talking about like the Dukes, North Carolinas, and all those teams who are normally in,
Kansas.
yeah,
Right.
Kansas, those teams who are normally in the mix. Those are the teams that are normally a part of the tournament and have like the historical, cachet or whatever that's connected to the tournament. So if you don't see those teams, it's like, what's going on? It's just not the same.
Mhm.
But so KP, I was saying while you were on your pulling your Indiana Jones, getting out that cave you were in the beginning.
The Temple of Doom.
Yeah. Uh I was saying I would tap in with you because I know you have been doing the research behind the SEC and a number of teams. So correct me if I'm wrong. Before the 14 out of 16, before the 14 teams, the record was 11, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Before the
Okay.
record. Yeah. Yeah. The previous record was 11.
Okay, but go ahead. You were talking about the SEC and what you thought of
Um.
in terms of their
Damn.
conference.
Hope this internet ain't tripping again. I'm in a different room.
Hey, you look clear,
Hey,
man.
hey,
Okay.
hey, hey, yeah.
Okay.
We look like we
I
got you
can
in
see
4K.
clearly now the rain is gone.
Okay. So
Right, it's
what
gone.
I was saying about the SEC was I was saying at least 12, but I was predicting. I'm like, I believe that they're going to shatter this 11 and they're going to get 13 in.
Hmm.
I thought that they were going to get 13 teams into the tournament. The team I did not see getting in ended up being the 14th team, which was Texas. Today, I actually got into a back and forth with a guy that he's got a he's got a sports platform. He's on Instagram. He's got over 10,000 followers. Name is Will Sports.
Hmm.
Um, he usually posts a lot of interesting things about college basketball and the NBA. So I've been following this guy for about a year, and we have back and forth. I'll comment on some of his posts, but today we were actually DMing back and forth for about 30 minutes where we were debating on this NCAA tournament, and his argument was Texas. Mine was North Carolina.
Mm.
So I mean,
In
he was
terms of who
arguing that
shouldn't have been in.
yes, no,
Okay.
no, no. Who should have been in? Who should
So
have been in?
you said North Carolina should have been in?
Yes, I said the North
Okay.
Carolina should have been in. He was saying that Texas should have been in because of the quad one wins, them having 7 quad one wins.
But they both got in.
Yes, they did. So we kind of went through a list of all the teams and all the schools that we thought were in, that we thought were out. Some of them he was right on, some of them I was right on, but interesting nonetheless. Like the whole selection process,
Hmm.
and I know one of the things you were saying where you were talking about quad one wins.
Hmm.
Um, I don't even know if it necessarily fully comes down to that. I think the pecking order of what's relevant, what's important, the criteria to get in, I
Hmm.
think it changes because it becomes splitting hairs in a sense that you can make an argument for so many different teams, and if they should be in or if they shouldn't be in, if they should be out. I know that a lot of people were disappointed in West Virginia
Yeah,
not
not
making it
getting in.
into the tournament. And
and
they had some
and
really good wins.
saying it's appalling to have North Carolina get in
Yeah.
instead of West Virginia.
Well,
So here's
then
I'm
comes the
sorry.
blue blood. Then there comes the blue blood
Abs-
stuff that we're talking about, right?
Hmm.
that's part of it. But this is what is funny. I actually was talking to someone yesterday. They actually play for West Virginia, so they're actually they're red shirting. I'm gonna interview him in a couple months, but I've been knowing this dude for years, so we talk periodically. And so one of the jokes that I made yesterday before Selection Sunday was, y'all not getting in, right? He was like, "Oh man, don't say that, man. Don't say that." I said, "Nah, man. Y'all gonna get invited to the crown, baby. Y'all,
Hmm.
y'all going to the crown." And he's like, "Nah, nah, nah, don't say that." And I start laughing. I'm like, "Nah, you know what? You guys have had a really good year." I
Hmm.
said, "But you didn't win 20 games
Right.
and you lost in the first round of your conference tournament to Colorado, who is the worst team in the conference.
Yeah.
So you being a bubble team, that didn't help your case. And because of that, I don't think you guys are going to make the tournament."
Yeah,
Promise you, I said it to him.
but they've been calling the Big 12 the toughest conference
Th-
that there is.
For
That's what a
the
lot of people have been
for
saying.
the past few years, it has been.
Hmm.
For the past few years, it like, make no mistake, but this past year you just lost two Big 12 teams, in Texas and Oklahoma,
Right.
who were on the upper echelon of the Big 12, who just went to the
Now to the
SEC.
SEC. Right.
Exactly.
Right. Right. Right.
So you, I mean, back in the day, Texas A&M was a Big 12 team. Back in the day, Missouri was a Big 12 team.
Hmm. Hmm.
These teams are now SEC teams, so
Right.
they're no longer there. So
Yeah.
it does kind of take away from the Big 12. In the beginning of the year, I was saying that Kansas was one of the toughest teams in the country, and
I
then they
remember
had a
that because we were watching a game together one
yeah,
time and we were
yeah,
talking about Kansas.
yeah.
So,
And matter of fact, they beat North Carolina. They beat them
hmm,
by 3. But they had a downward skid, and they were no longer a perennial powerhouse like some of these other schools. I would actually say, if you go top to bottom, teams,
hmm,
I'd say the SEC stands alone as the cream of the crop. Um, I would say the Big 12, even though they don't have more teams than the Big 10, I'd say the Big 12, they will be able to beat more teams in the term. I think they'll do better than the Big 10,
hmm,
but I think the top tier of the Big 10 teams are pretty damn good. I think Michigan is going to be hard to beat, and I think Michigan State, they're going to be hard to beat. And
yeah,
Wisconsin's a damn good team as well.
yeah. And see, so the reason I brought up the quads, right, is
Yeah.
because and you had been talking about quad one wins and all that shit throughout the year. So don't give me that the quads don't matter, man. All that bullshit you're trying to
Well,
say now, but they were just referring to that throughout the process of the the selection Sunday and all that stuff. And it's like I get it. They try to make it more of a formal type situation, and this is how you do things, and this is what
But
matters, and all that stuff. But go ahead, you trying to say
it's like
something, Bong?
it's like a fallback to justify keeping teams out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In quad
right,
one,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right?
right, right.
Whereas when you see most of these blue blood programs or these blue chip programs, you're going to they're going to have more quad one games just
Absolutely.
Yeah,
because
by
Absolutely.
virtue of
Absolutely.
what conference they're in and who they are matched
exactly.
up against.
So quad one is just used as a way to justify shitting on somebody or keeping them out.
And
You know
the,
what I'm
and the
saying?
cra-
Yeah.
the crazy thing about North Carolina is and I put the short up about the quad one versus quad two. They went undefeated in quad two, right? And only won one quad one game.
Yeah.
But then you had the panel, and I forget exactly who said it. I don't know if it was Jason Williams. It was one of them. It may not have been him, so don't quote me on that. But they were like, "Yeah, they're 8-0 in quad two, but that doesn't matter because they're not going to be playing any quad two teams in the tournament."
The
Right.
so this is what I would say though when it came to North Carolina. So I had this marker of 20 wins for everybody. I thought I in my head keep that as a criteria. You have to win 20 games
Hmm.
to be considered.
Yeah, no,
So
and
North Carolina won 22 games. Now, they had one quad one win, but they played teams close. They played Kansas, lost by 3. They lost to Auburn by 6. They had different games that they in different teams that they played close.
but
Their
at the
only
end of the
bad
day, it's a
loss was
L.
really at Pittsburgh.
At the end of the day, it's a L though.
It
It's an
is.
L, and I would think that since even if they came close in those games, they're like, okay, they came close. Let's see what they do in this ACC tournament. Now, when you get matched up against Duke, here's your test: beat them, and you're in. I don't even think they had to win the championship. If they would have beat Duke, it would have been like, all right, North Carolina's in. I don't
But
think
then
people would have been arguing about it.
but the way the game ended,
But
that
but
bullshit at the
even
end.
that they won their first 2 games in in the ACC tournament, I believe. I
They
believe they won
did.
they won the
They
first,
did. But
which
what
is
I'm
what helped
saying
them.
is
Uh-huh.
once you get to Duke, which is one of those ones,
Yeah.
And,
you
and we're
only
sitting and we're sitting out 2 players.
right. That's it, you know.
One of
And
them being the potential first number 1 pick, not even potential. No, one of
Player of
them
the year
being
and the player of the year,
the
potential
player of
player
the
of the year
year,
as
the
well.
number 1 pick in the
and
draft,
and I
Cooper
and I'm
Flag.
and I'm glad you said that shit because another thing that they have been saying is they were asking about players' availability, right?
Mhm.
And I heard that being said when they were doing the football playoffs too, like is a player available? And that has something to do with where they would rank the team, or because if you remember when Florida State's quarterback got injured
Yeah.
Yeah.
with Florida State's situation in the playoffs and what happened to them, and they were talking about because they didn't have their starting quarterback. So if you start bringing in, like Ubang just said, Flag was injured, right? So he's not in. So now you're questioning, oh well, where should Duke be ranked because you don't know if Flag is going to be available. Man, how that there's no exact science to that. Like that shit is crazy.
Yeah.
It's not.
At
I'm
the end
I'm
of the
just
day, their
saying.
record still stands, right?
Yeah.
It still is. It is what it is. They performed and did what they did to that point. Whether a player got hurt or not, they shouldn't be penalized. But it sounds like people were in the backstage on the committee looking at that shit and wondering, like, well, if so and
But
so ain't there, they don't need a number 2 seed or a number 3 seed.
but you want to hear the interesting thing? And Kev, don't stay in the same position too long because then we thinking your internet freezing. But I'm like, man, is Kev internet freezing? No, he's
You're
just
like,
thinking.
hey, somebody
He just in
stump that
thought.
nigga or something, man.
So, but the beautiful thing about the this field of what is it 68 now, right? Is that it really over the last I'd say 7 to 8 years, maybe 10 years, it doesn't matter. Like they go through all this. It's really in the tournament outside of a few select number 1 seeds that are really bar none heads and shoulders above the rest. It doesn't matter. It's a get in and just compete,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, there has been a lot of discussion about, and we can place blame at the feet of John Calipari, or and as him being the godfather of this whole one and done thing. But the fact remains that a lot of these smaller schools, a lot of these 8 seeds and 9 seeds and 11 seeds are starting to catch up to a lot of these blue bloods, a lot of these top tier programs, right? You used to see it a lot with Gonzaga. Now they're a big name, but before they
Mm-hmm.
used to be a Cinderella.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You'll see, Shaka Smart had a run over in damn, what school
VCU.
was that?
VCU.
VCU for a few years. You
They're-
know what I'm
they're-
saying?
They're
I
they're
I predict they're
they're in
gonna.
it. Yeah,
I predict that they're gonna win as the 11 seed
Yeah.
I
So
was feeling that too.
when they play BYU.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that, and then if they beat BYU, they got a chance to do
Mm,
some damage. I think so.
Wisconsin is tough. They got Wisconsin next.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I
but
think they
All it,
got a shot though.
all it
but
takes is one off night. I love this.
absolutely,
I love the NCAA tournament. There's nothing like it, man. I don't know what it is, but we always get the crazy finishes. Maybe it's just that many games that you're bound to see a buzzer beater
Mm-hmm.
to kick, knock somebody out, or you bound to see something crazy that goes on every year. But
Mm-hmm.
it never disappoints, man. And like the that end of March and beginning of April, that little run right there has always been fun. You can book it every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
yeah.
If you're at work, man, you barely getting shit done just because you got the TV on, or
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, you watch it, you streaming it or whatever. Like it's a good time. And
Let's
then now,
let's hope your boss ain't watching this shit. Like, what you doing in there?
Boss is over his shoulder.
right. Like, what's
Looking
going
at the
on?
shit too,
Yeah,
one like,
Yeah,
might have put a parlay in.
oh shit.
But and now, honestly, with the advancement of women's basketball, like they're picking up, and it's. I remember the last couple years with LSU, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, they were getting better numbers than the men's
yeah,
tournaments. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So, Juju is the name. Her and Paige Beckers are the names right now that are kind of pacing it for the women's side. But again, outside of Cooper Flag, and Rutgers
And
didn't make
by
it,
the way,
right?
you brought that
No,
shit up. I know we
no, they
talking
did
about.
not.
I know we
And
talking
they
about
and
the.
they declined. I'm sorry, Wayne and DP, and they declined all invitations. So they declined the Crown and the NIT. They're not participating in anything. Season's
Is
over.
it is it because they feel like their guys are not going to compete in those tournaments?
No, no,
So
because
so so Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper
oh yeah,
are
yeah,
going
yeah,
are
Mm-hmm,
absolutely,
going to
mm-hmm.
decline
absolutely.
playing and
Yeah,
start
fuck that shit.
start
They like,
training for
man,
the
fuck
for the
this shit.
draft.
Start
Which
no
is
no no no. Well, some starting to train for the draft and some starting to
trained for that
train for
portal.
the portal. Yeah.
Right,
Which is
right.
and that's a short that I put up yesterday. That's something that the NCAA is going to have to try to fix because the portal opens up March 24th, and the tournaments are starting around that time. They're starting slightly before. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
going into the portal and your team is in the NCAA tournament, you're playing in the NCAA tournament. But
Yeah.
if you're not in the NCAA tournament, if you're in the NIT, maybe in the NIT as well. But if you win the CBI, if you win the CIT, if you win
The
the
CB4.
if you win the crown, no, because
Hey,
the crown doesn't start till March
I
31st.
didn't I didn't I hadn't heard anything about the crown, right? Because KP is super tapped in. I said, man, the only crown niggas know about is royal, nigga.
Right,
Get the damn
right.
crown out of here. But you
Crown
know
Royal
what?
flags.
As a hooper though, I might, if I had the opportunity to still play on, depending on my circumstance, of course, with the portal and all that stuff, I might just be like, man, fuck it, I'm hooping. But before we get too far down the line, Bong, I just wanted to say, I know we're not talking about the women's side of the game, but you brought up Paige Beckers and Juju Watkins. It's kind of weak that they put them in the same bracket.
Yep.
It's weak
Second
as
year in a
fuck
row,
that
right?
they put them in the same bracket. Like,
Right.
but
You know what's one thing that's cool about the women's side is the first two rounds, the women get home games, the hosting team.
mm-hmm.
So USC, they'll have home games for the first two rounds. So I was talking to my sons are like, oh yeah, we gonna show up to the games. I was like,
Yeah,
damn,
and then
how?
they move to the neutral sites. But
Yeah.
hey, no shot at the men's and K, KP Junior. But I was telling my son because he's up there at Galen working some of the games and stuff. I was telling him, he's like, I'm like, who plays today? He's like, oh, it's a women's game. I said, oh, the real game. Okay, it's gonna be crowded up there today.
Oh yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
You got to earn your money today.
yeah, it's
Oh
crazy. It's
yeah.
crazy.
Hey man,
Man.
listen, the men's side is crowded too, when Michigan comes into town and it's full of Michigan fans.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Well, there you go.
and they had a "Go Blue" chant that was so damn loud that shit drowned out all the USC fans. It
Crazy.
was
Hey,
and
so
Michigan State.
so
Yeah.
check this out. I went to a few of the games this year, the USC men's games, and I was at, I think, the game. Who does Peja Stojakovic son
You
play
were
for? Is that Cal?
yeah, you were at the Cal game. Yeah.
Okay, at the
Yep.
Cal game, and there was a one dude that was heckling the fuck out of USC, and the USC crowd
He was in our
let
section.
this dude. Yeah, exactly. Me and me and KP randomly were sitting in the same section,
Yeah.
literally like seats away from each other.
An aisle
And
separated us. Just an aisle.
exactly, yeah, crazy as hell. So, but there's one dude heckling the fuck out of USC, the fans, and I'm like, wow, y'all
Mm.
gonna let this one dude punk y'all at a HBCU, at a bigger program where it's more competitive, even not even just a HBCU, a PWI, but
Mm-hmm.
just a bigger program that's more competitive. They finna run this motherfucker up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all gonna let him punk? He silenced the whole crowd.
Yeah. And let
I
me say
said,
this.
"Oh, USC, y'all ain't got no heart."
Let me say this, man. His cousin was kicking
Was
our
getting buck,
ass.
was
Oh,
getting
okay.
bucket.
Okay.
He was getting
So, yeah,
So
bucket.
is that why they was like, well, shit,
no, that
nigga cousin cooking.
listen, that's why I was like, shit.
Okay.
Like I was
Okay.
His
like,
cousin was cooking. Every time he
cousin was
touched the
cooking.
ball,
Yeah, he's cooking.
every time he touched the ball, he told him go to work.
Yeah.
And you
Mm.
could hear it. And I'm sure his cousin could hear him because the USC fans were pin drop silent. Like, man, what's
Yeah.
wrong with y'all? Y'all ain't got no heart.
It's
Like, I ain't got no dog in the fight. I'm here to support. I'm here to support at one person on the USC team.
uh-huh.
I don't give a
Uh-huh.
fuck about y'all. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to basketball, it's UCLA. When it comes to football, it's USC if you're from LA. Like
Not for
that's
me.
typically how it goes. Well, that's typically how it
Yeah,
goes, right? Because
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the UCLA basketball program has been great forever
Yeah.
and the USC football program has been great forever, and vice versa, it hasn't been as much. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but um, yeah. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I think that the lack of star power in the NCAA on the men's side has been affecting the quality of the product. As far as like in
Saying
American
they don't
sports.
have a juju or something like that, you mean?
Exactly. In
Like,
American sports, we want stars. We
Here's the
want
problem though,
stars.
Bong. Bong, here's the problem. When you get a star on the men's side, if their value's up, they're gone. They're gonna
yeah.
go to the NBA. With the women, you have to stay 3 years.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
You,
this,
you have to.
it's gotta be a process of building that player's character up too.
Yeah.
Building that superstar. I mean, I saw this special they had on Juju where they were talking about they had to sell her on the thought of what she would do for USC and the entire community because USC just it wasn't one of those ones at the time before she was getting ready to commit.
She's
Um,
probably gonna go to UConn, where everybody goes. When you're
you
a
know,
top player,
and
or South Carolina, I
but
guess.
she but she stayed home. She stayed at the crib, and it's just it's one of those things where like KP is saying you got to be there for 3 years. She's in her second now.
Yeah.
I mean, she is it out
Yeah.
here. You
And
know what I'm saying?
Come on, sing your song, Wayne. The this is come on, sing the this is it.
This is it. Make no mistake who she is. This is it. No,
hey,
nah, but she's running the show, man. Like, and I know that shit gets on all them other players' nerves. Like UCLA, I know they can't stand it. I know it, and they were
oh
happy
yeah.
to beat them in the championship and all. I know they. So,
Again,
but
it's
it's good for the sport.
something about popularity that really, you know, if you're not the popular person, if you're not the it person, and this is on any level, right? Um, they're gonna hate your peers, your contemporaries are going to hate you. You know what I'm saying? There's just a level of like, what is this person doing that I can't do? You
Mm-hmm.
know, but that's what makes the game fun. You know what I'm saying? Trying to see how these stars, if they can decode the matrix, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like get their team over the hump. Like watching that UCLA game, that was probably one of the first games that I watched USC women's this season, and they were playing defense on Juju like, you know, they're not even worried about whatever's going on behind them. They're face guarding at
Yeah.
half court. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like, what do we do? Plus, with a double, with a double coming or a triple coming, like, hold on,
Mm-hmm.
man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like, damn, yeah. Like, it was crazy the type of offense that they or the type of defense they were playing against Juju. And here's the funniest part. That's not even the funny part. Her teammates were still like, "Hey, come on, get open."
Of course.
You still getting
Hey, they know the assignment. They know
right.
what it is.
Oh
You
man.
you still getting this rock,
They
man.
know what
Like,
it is.
I don't give a fuck how you gonna get open, but get your ass open. Come get this
Yep.
rock.
Yep.
Pass the ball to Will. That's
Right.
Yeah. The Fresh Prince episode.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That nigga Carlton was like, man, fuck this shit.
Yeah. Letting this motherfucker go.
Oh
But
man.
and again, so we were talking about it a few minutes ago, the one and done era,
Mm-hmm.
right? John Calipari in Kentucky was famous for what people believe ushered in the true one and done um, era of
Mhm.
basketball for the NCAA. And even back then, a lot of the coaches, a lot of the Coach K's, and a lot of these other, blue blood coaches that are used to having a player, Duke, they're not a one and done school. Hey, you come to Duke, you're gonna stay 2-3 years. You may be trying to get your degree. Coach K, before he retired, he had to adapt to
Mm-hmm.
that because he
Mm-hmm.
couldn't win. He couldn't win games with that type of system because the top tier recruits, the 5 stars, were not coming to Duke because they wanted to be one and done.
Hey
Hey man,
man. I'm sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, you mentioned Coach K. I want to say this allegedly. Let me do these allegedly.
This
Yeah.
nigga got the craziest air quotes I done seen. Do that shit again. What the fuck was those? Go ahead
Allegedly,
though.
allegedly, when Luau Dang went there, Luau Dang was one and done. So Luau, they were trying. Allegedly, Coach K and the staff was trying to convince Luau Dang not to leave. And he's like, nah, I want to go to the league, and I want to build hospitals in Sudan, and I want to do
Mm-hmm.
this. This is before it was South Sudan; it was just Sudan. I want to build hospitals in Sudan. I want to do all these things. And Coach K is like, man, just stay another year, and you'll be able to do that. We're gonna make sure that you're good, allegedly. And when he stood on, yeah, when he stood
Go
on the
ahead.
fact that he wasn't coming back a second year, uh, Duke allegedly closed their gym and their resources off to him, and he couldn't train for the NBA draft there. He had to train at the YMCA.
Mm-hmm.
And then after he, made it and was drafted, allegedly, Duke and everybody came back, wrapped their arms around him. Oh my guy, we
Mm-hmm.
love it. Yeah, but
But
wasn't messing with it at first.
Yeah.
so if I'm not mistaken, the first one and done guy that Duke embraced, what was a Jabari?
Jabari Parker.
No. What's the one guy? Now he went to the NBA. He flamed out after a couple seasons, man. Not Parker, not Jabari Parker, but it was another dude from New Jersey, I believe. Damn, what
New
was his name?
Jersey?
Yeah.
Mm,
You're not,
Ah,
you're not talking about Jay Will.
no.
Okay,
yeah, his was an injury.
yeah,
Is it Okafor?
Jaleel Okafor.
Oh,
Jaleel
okay. Yeah,
Jaleel Okafor.
Okafor.
He from
There it was.
Chicago. He's from
Chicago.
Yeah,
I
Chicago.
know it was one of them
hey,
dreams.
he's
Chicago.
in the G League right now, man.
Ain't gonna
Trying
get
to
out.
find his way back.
Ain't gonna get out, man. Ain't gonna.
But
I mean, like no disrespect to him. I don't think it's a skill thing. I think it's more so like you had your chance type of ordeal, and he had some off the court situations, and I just don't think that they let him back in.
Hmm.
engineer, man, we see. He said that Kev needs to watch a tutorial on the air quotes. Hey, so, but okay, so, but Jaleel Okafor was one of the first one and done players that Duke actually led into the program, and it's funny because I believe that year they won a championship, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
They brought in the one, so Coach K was the last to kind of like conform to this whole one and done type thing, right? Based on, you can hear the stories from Kev about it, but
Hmm.
he brought in Jaleel Okafor, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, either they went to the national championship game or they won a national championship. My memory's a little hazy, but um, it paid off.
Hmm.
So, but what we're starting to see is some of these mid-major programs, some of these smaller schools, now they're the one. Was that correct?
Yes, they did. They did win in 2014, 2015. Yes.
Hmm.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you,
So,
Kevin Fitzpatrick. Always on
so,
time.
so what we're starting to see though with the one and duns is that these smaller programs, these mid majors, where a kid may not, if you're a one and done kid, you're not going to go to these smaller schools. They're getting a chance to really build their programs, and it's starting to be similar to um, these European teams where the NBA sends their USA basketball team out there, and it's just a bunch of star talent collected together. And these European teams, or these international teams, they have
Been
teams that
playing
have
together
gelled
for a while.
together because they've
Mm-hmm.
been playing together for a while, right? And
Hmm.
it looks better, and they're starting to catch up to the USA because, yeah, you guys have the more talented players, but we have cohesion. We have a little bit of synergy because we've been playing together for so long, and that's what it's starting to look like in college basketball. I think. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say something that I've been talking to Kevin about in terms of all of this, which is the idea that the kids, the players themselves, had their minds attached to this idea of I have to go to a blue blood or I have to go to this institution because this is where you know this is the path to the NBA, right?
That and the NIL
Or
package
the
it
NIL, right?
looks so much sweeter.
But and we had talked about this a long time ago when we were just doing audio when we first started the podcast, and we were talking about if the top tier athletes decided we're going to go here, we're all going to get together and go play here, right? They would change the game. They would then have an effect on where the NIL and stuff like that goes instead of just allowing the schools to still control what's going on, because now they're putting it in the hands of Kevin. You said they have these collectives now, but
Yes.
it's going to a process where the actual school itself is administering the NIL, right? They're making the payments to the kids through the actual
Mhm.
school. So it's going to be the same thing where it's the large institutions are the ones who, they have the money and all of that stuff, but it's like, hey kids, you guys are the show. You guys really can control the scene. So if you wanted to go to, you know, Alabama State, let's just say, Bong, you said a minute ago you were talking about a HBCU. Hey, KP, you went to Alabama State.
I did.
They made it to the tourney. They're in the first four. But let's say, all these top five, players, these 5 stars said, man, hey, let's go to Alabama State, man. I mean, we know we only doing this shit for 1 year. Let's go out there and just, let's go rock out. Have all the people follow us, endorsements, change the game, and do what we can do. See if we could change, make history there. Like, but kids aren't thinking like that, and they probably
Revolutionized
never will.
revolutionized the
That,
game. And no, no,
that,
no. I
that happened this year. It wasn't an HBCU, but it was a school that hasn't been competitive in like the last 5 years, maybe longer than that. Rutgers with Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper.
Yeah, but they didn't.
No,
You know.
but I mean, but they, those were the highest two recruits the school has ever got.
Yeah,
They
that's two of them though. I'm saying if they collectively have this mindset, like what we don't have to go there, and you had Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper, who let's name some other top kids who came in this year.
VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah, let's say they all are
Black.
like Cooper Flag. Well, Cooper Flag probably ain't gonna go to Alabama State, so you know.
Hey man, he
But
get minority scholarship,
yeah,
baby. Come
yeah,
on, man.
but you know what I'm saying though. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying, like
yeah.
that. But will that ever happen? Probably. I mean, and this is something we've been talking about for years.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
I think the closest thing we saw thus far was McCord Maker. Maker was a 5-star. He chose to go to Howard, and I don't even know where he's playing anymore. I think he's in Australia. He never
Yeah,
made it to the league.
I remember
Just
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
so I mean, all in all, it's it's made for a great balance of, hey man, any given, not any given Sunday, it's not a football quote, but any team on any given day can have their way. I think last year was one of the first years in a long time where I think they had like all, and again, I have so much sports shit in my head. I'll be trying to just extract it at the right time. But I think last year was like one of the first years in a long time where a lot of high seeds went, right? It was a I think it may have been a few number ones or something like that, like some number ones and number twos that made it to the final
Yeah, Final
four.
Four.
hmm
I know UConn was the number one. Shit, I can't even remember the Final Fours off the top of my head. I
Let me
have to
take,
look it up. I,
I'll look it up.
yeah,
But again, I think it was probably one of the. I think it's for some reason it stood out to me that it was a bunch of high seeds um, that made it to the final four as opposed to like what it had been previously where it was a bunch of
you know,
you got 8 seeds, 9 seeds,
there
whatever.
was there was a low seed last year. It was what NC State. They were an
hmm
11 seed last year.
okay.
Okay. What was the
They were,
final four?
man, damn. Give me
I know they
one.
had the what's the big white boy because I remember he played against
Yeah. You talking Purdue? Purdue was in
Purdue.
it.
Okay, they were a
Um,
1 seed, right?
Who, Edie?
yeah,
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 Edie.
Edie. Yeah, Edie. So Purdue, they were number one seed. They played NC State. They were an 11 seed, and
Yeah,
then Alabama was a 4 seed. UConn was a 1 seed.
and then
Okay.
who ended up going to the finals? It was
It
UConn
was
and
UConn and Purdue, with
okay,
UConn
so
beating
boom.
them by
So then it was
50.
the it was the it
Yeah.
was
One
the two
seed.
number one seeds. The two
Yes,
number
hmm
one seeds made it. Two number one seeds made it to the championship game,
yes.
and that's not normal anymore. Whereas like the last couple of years, you're starting to see so many upsets and number ones go down. And we talk about Duke. We talk about Duke um, going the one and done route with
Okafor.
Jalil
Okafor.
Okafor.
hmm
It was after consecutive, I think, like 2 or 3 years where Duke had got their ass whooped by like 13 seeds and lower.
Yeah,
They were going in there and getting their ass whooped by lower
yeah,
seeds because they were like, "Hey man, we're not doing this one and done shit." After you
yeah.
get your ass embarrassed a couple of times, it's like, "Hey man, what's that? Hey, uh, let me see that one and done shit you was talking about, man. Bring the paperwork
hmm
over here. Let me see what it's talking about."
hmm
Like, no, motherfucker, you gonna get down with the program, or your ass gonna keep getting embarrassed. Like,
But
y'all,
but now KP, I think you were saying like the portal and stuff has ushered the one and done shit out. So that formula is no longer,
It it
the winning formula.
it's a combination of striking gold in the portal and having some bona fide freshmen that can play right now that will get you over the hump. I don't
And,
think it's going to be a
who hit on that formula this year?
Duke. Believe it or not, Duke is actually did it, and their formula is kind of they've actually ushered in a new formula that other teams are really adapting, where when they're going into the portal, they're recruiting guys that, and this is the term that they're calling it. They're calling guys multi-year guys. So let's say that they get a sophomore, they get someone going into their sophomore year, their junior year. Duke is saying they're going to be with us for 2 years.
Hmm.
And then they differentiate between the freshmen. They may bring in 5 freshmen. So if they bring in 5 freshmen, they're like, okay, 2 of these guys are going to be one and dones. The other 3 are going to be multi-year guys. I'm going to bring in a couple seniors that have 1 year, so they're playing. And then I've got some multi-year transfers with some multi-year freshmen that are going to be coming in out of high school. And from there, in training camp, we're going to figure out who makes the rotation. Some of these freshmen may break in, and it may end up being more one and dones on the freshman side. It may end up being more uh, transfers that were supposed to be multi-year guys that could come in, play right away, and get the hell out of there and go to the NBA. But
Okay.
that's kind of the formula that Duke has had, and I'm seeing more and more teams kind of adapt that formula. The
And
thing,
if that works, the way you explained it, you kind of always have somebody on your team who knows the show, who knows the
who's coming back?
program.
Yeah, who's coming
Yeah.
back?
And they can
Absolutely,
kind of, not have
absolutely,
to start from scratch,
absolutely.
So
And,
that makes sense.
and the respectable thing about Duke is Duke will tell you, the coaches, they don't bullshit and say, hey man, you're gonna come in, you're gonna play. They will tell you, hey, we're recruiting you as a multi-year guy or something like that. Now,
But
doesn't
you can change it.
yeah,
The
absolutely.
player can change it.
Absolutely.
Like
They
you're the
will
only one who can change that
they,
shit.
they will say that too, but they will
Yeah.
tell you up front, whereas a lot of these other schools will not tell you that they're
Yeah.
looking at you as a multi-year guy. They're like, oh yeah, 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 you're playing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We saw your film. Yeah, we love you. We love you, baby. Come in.
But here's the other thing about the NIL and the way these kids are getting paid now, right? Is it's almost like there's more incentive to stay anyway. So a lot of
But
guys, it's like if you're supposed to be a lottery pick, like a flag, yes, get the fuck out of there because you just see you got injured, dog.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't want to have something happen to where it changes, your trajectory as far as
right,
where you're supposed to be going in the draft. So that makes sense. But everybody's not a Cooper Flag. So
true.
those players who may have before been like, man, I'm about to just go ahead and leave. They may say, oh, I'm getting money. It's less taxing on the body. I only play this amount of games. I'm getting paid more than some of these rookies who are on two-way deals and all this other stuff. So I'm probably stay in college.
In theory, that is correct. But like that shit is like day old pizza. I don't know if you guys have had day old pizza. I don't refrigerate my pizza, so I leave my shit, sitting in the microwave or sitting out in the box, and then I put it in the microwave. If you put that shit in for 20 to 25 seconds, it's cool. But if you put that shit in for 55 seconds and it wasn't in the refrigerator,
it's
the day,
hard as steel.
yeah, the crust is rubbery. It's all kind of problems with that damn pizza, and that
Yeah,
and that's the correlation with that and staying in college too long.
Hmm.
Sometimes you can stay in college too long, that money be good, but now that NBA dream that you had, nah, brother, you playing for the Shanghai Sharks now.
Yeah,
You
but
you
the
just
flip side could be
mhm.
you don't get drafted where you thought you were going to get drafted. Now you're on a two-way. You're in G League, which is considered purgatory.
Oh
You
yeah,
may or may not get out because there's always a new crop of kids coming right behind your ass.
absolutely,
Pause. And
absolutely.
then, you know, you're wishing, man, I would have left that shit in the microwave for 55 seconds because I'm getting more time, more money. And then, if I
Yeah,
leave, I'd be in the same, and I end up in the same G League situation anyway. I
or
got
maybe
more bread. Like,
exactly. I go overseas and it never happens for me, but at least I have 4 years or 3 years to really stack money so
Right.
that, I can come out of college not only not in debt, but further along than
Oh
most
yeah.
people that come out of college,
It is
um,
life
change.
changing money
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
these kids
Um,
are getting.
Yeah.
and I
And
don't know how
rightfully
long
so.
I don't know how long before it gets regulated, but
It-
Yeah,
it's gonna be hard to regulate it. It's
yeah,
gonna be hard,
because
dog.
they were already doing it illegally before you
they
guys
they were
said,
already
"Hey,
doing it
here's."
illegally.
They're,
So,
they're, they're trying to
but
implement something new. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
They're trying to implement something new. The word is that it's like before it's up to players have until April 6th, right? If
Right.
they're hitting the portal or if they're staying at their school, you have this exit meeting. After the exit, you're going to hear how much money the collective is willing to give you. If you can come to terms on that amount that you're promised prior to April 7th, then the school has to pay you that money. But then if you don't come to terms prior to April 7th, then it goes through another channel, an independent group outside of the collective that then has to sign off on the money that you were trying to agree upon with your coach. That may or may not happen, but it's another channel
It's
and
like
more
it's like
hoops.
arbitration.
Yeah, that's this. Listen, this is the word that I'm hearing.
Hmm.
This is the word.
Wow.
Lot of people don't know about this. You can't find it posted nowhere. It's just one of them things. If you in the know, you in the know. If you're not in the know, you don't know.
And Kevin Fitzpatrick is in the know. Like,
If you couldn't tell within this first 51 minutes,
yeah.
um, he's tapped into all things NCAA men's
Nothing gets
basketball.
past Kevin Fitzpatrick.
So, engineer said that the WNBA would dream for that kind of cash for that these college athletes are making. And guess what? A lot of the top stars that are in women's college basketball don't want to go to the league either
Oh, they
because
definitely
they're
don't.
they're making money hand over fist in NCAA. More,
Paige Bueckers.
somebody like a
Paige
Page,
Bueckers.
a
Yeah,
Juju.
she could have left last year.
Yeah,
She
you
said,
got a
"No,
Juju.
no, no, no. I'm gonna get this bread again."
That
Yeah,
was like Angel Reese.
yeah,
Yeah.
Angel
Yep.
Reese. You got Flage right now. You got Juju, who's the cash queen right now.
Caitlin
Um,
Clark.
yeah,
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark but then you got but the funny thing is that the top athletes on the women's side, once they go to the league, they're so marketable that they're going to get that money there anyway,
Mm-hmm.
right? The and the
I would say now, to me,
right over the last couple years, it's only
yeah,
been
yeah.
yeah, we're only
This
talking about the
this
last few years.
this rookie class changed the game.
Yeah.
Which rookie? The rookie,
Caitlin and
Caitlin
Angel.
Clark and
Yes,
Angel.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
They changed the game,
And
and I think the even bigger game changer is Juju.
yeah, no,
It's
no. Juju,
Her shit is gonna
Juju,
be
Juju is a game.
crazy.
She's not a game changer. She is going to benefit from the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese
Well, true, because if
dynamic.
I'm calling them game changers, I just think she's gonna like
They're right,
just
right.
take it
So,
to another level. I
but
think she
make
already has. Like,
but no. Make no mistake. The two that ushered in this game that changed the game is Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, and there will be no discussion. Like before them, there was okay, yeah, we
no, I'm
WNBA.
agreeing with you.
No, no, yeah.
No,
No, I
no,
know. We're
I'm
saying the same
agreeing.
thing. We're saying the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
But what they've done,
Yeah.
and the funny thing is, so Caitlin Clark got all her, she was highly regarded from the beginning, right? Some people were trying to call Angel Reese the afterthought. What Angel Reese has done after the season, like being the ambassador for so many different things, so many different brands, making so much money, so many different ways, and now she's going. I think in what's the
The
uh,
Unrivaled.
Yeah.
unrivaled league, right? She wins defensive player of the year for their league. She's in the finals. Like her being so marketable and being all over the place. She was at the Super Bowl. At the Pro Bowl, right? So she was coaching the flag football
Getting
team and doing some
interviewed
other
by
things.
Jameis Winston and not even knowing who the fuck Jameis
Nah, I
Winston
think
was.
I think she was being funny. But what I'm saying is they've done something to the game that everybody else gets to benefit from moving forward. Like they literally, those two have changed. They're Magic and Bird of the WNBA. We talked about it at nauseum, months back. You know what I'm saying? But they are the Magic Johnson and Larry Bird of the WNBA. 10 years, 20 years from now, everybody that's getting money on that level will have to look back and thank those two for being the ones that changed the game.
Shout out to the Reeses, man. She got a brother Julian. Shout out to him too, man.
At Maryland, right?
Yeah, yeah. He almost caught my son, but we good though. We good.
Mm, mm.
He almost dunked on him, but he
Oh
cool.
boy. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
my son said after the game he dapped him up. Julian Reese dapped him up. Said,
Okay.
man, way to play, good shit.
Okay.
So we good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much respect,
That's all
Mr.
love.
Reese.
All right. All right. Well, um, the any other thoughts about the tournament? Because we haven't even talked about how the seeding really broke down and stuff. We just kind of went on the SEC getting in there. Do you guys have? I know you said VCU, Kevin, and in that bracket, I think a lot of people are thinking that that's kind of set up to be more of an easy role for Alabama
Um,
coming out of there with BYU and VCU and
yeah, well,
Wisconsin and stuff.
Alabama, if they win, they're gonna destroy Robert Morris / Morris Roberts. Do y'all remember that story with Robert Morris?
No.
They had the uniforms last year where the top said Robert and the bottom said Morris, and then the other half of the players had the Morris on the top and the Robert on the bottom.
Uh-uh.
So it's like
No way. Ain't no way. Come on now.
and they're playing in the game. And they're so they're like, man, is it Robert Morris or Morris
Or Morris
Robert?
Robert. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's
Wild as
crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
But look at Duke is in that bracket as the number 1 seed.
yeah.
Man, that's a pretty tough bracket, man.
Yeah,
I
but
don't.
they would meet Duke. Alabama would if they, run through the other
Yeah,
squads. They would meet in what, like the Elite Eight or something like
they
that.
meet in the Elite Eight, but I
Yeah,
think I
yeah.
think that in the Sweet 16 match, I think that Alabama's going to have a tough time with Wisconsin. So
Kev,
yeah,
let's not rack our brain over this because the brackets could be busted after week 1.
no, I hear
Let's
you.
we'll get
But
on here and we'll
I'm
break them
saying
down.
he
We'll
he,
break
he
them down
mentioned
by week.
you mentioned an easy route, so I'm just
Yeah, no,
saying.
we just doing quick takeaways though,
Yeah,
Bong.
I
Like
just
just real quick. Yeah,
yeah,
we're not gonna
I
go into
can't.
everything. We just
Yeah,
real quick.
I can't say it's an easy route. That's all. I
Okay.
just
Yeah,
I won't say it's an easy route.
yeah.
Um,
And then just another real quick one. I know you said Michigan.
mhm.
Michigan's going against San Diego. Don't they have the UC San Diego? Don't they have the longest winning streak? Something like that, like 21 or something like that. 15, 21.
Yeah. Listen, man.
Fool's gold.
Pie right, man. Straight pie right, dog.
Okay.
Pie right. Pie right, man. I
So
listen. No,
Michigan gonna take good care of them.
no disrespect to UC San Diego. No disrespect. I know a guy. His son played for UC San Diego. Having a pretty good season, man. So shout out to them. They're competitive, and
Mhm.
they won the Big West, beating UC Irvine. That was an upset, but Michigan is a different animal, man. That the what they have with Area 51, and that's what they call the Area 51 with Vlad Golden that wears number 50
Mhm.
and Danny Wolf that wears number 1.
Yeah, there's some big boys.
Yeah, they're running 7-foot pick and rolls, man.
Yeah.
Where he's coming off the pick and roll as a 7-footer, passing, making pocket passes to another
Mhm.
7-footer.
Yep.
That's a tough team. Like top to bottom, when they're on, they're going to be hard to beat. That was one thing I was actually. Me and my wife was talking sports and talking basketball, and that was
Mhm.
one thing I was telling her. Like they're gonna be hard to beat, man.
Yeah. And just imagine they had Dickinson, right?
Yeah,
Who went to Kansas.
yeah, Hunter Dickinson. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's crazy. Um all right. Before we move on, are there any last takeaways? One thing I will say too is there were really no like surprises in the conference tournaments, right? It,
Well,
like
teams winning.
top three seeds, nothing lower than the top three, right? Nothing lower than the 3 seed really won there for the big conferences, the power fives, right? No
Wisconsin.
surprises from what I'm remembering.
No. Wisconsin
Yeah.
was probably like I think Wisconsin was a what are they 5 seed? They were
Okay.
like a 5 seed that made it to the finals.
But
Um,
they lost to Michigan,
yeah,
right?
they did.
And
But I'm
Michigan's a
saying, yeah,
two.
yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
saying so that was probably a surprise.
Well, I'm saying in terms of who got the automatic bids,
Oh, okay,
because when
okay.
you win
Um,
those, you get your automatic bid. Like,
Colorado State.
okay, okay.
Colorado. I think Colorado State kind of messed it up for people because they weren't a team that was projected to get in.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. How often does that happen where those teams do get in and mess up the shit and it, because you already know your number one seed out of
Yeah,
the conference is going automatically, whether
yeah.
they get the
It,
automatic bid or not, they
no,
getting in.
depends on the conference.
I'm saying Power Five, dog.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
talking about
no.
power.
Well,
I'm talking
I
about
was
Power
saying
Fives.
it because I mentioned Colorado State and they're not a Power
Okay,
Five. Yeah, they're
okay.
Mount West. So like because like last year was 4 teams that messed it up. One of them being NC State. NC State was not supposed to make the tournament. They ended up running through the ACC.
Right,
They got in. Yeah,
and there's a thing. So that's
yeah,
what I'm saying. They
yeah,
take a spot that
yes,
wasn't supposed to be taken by them
yes.
because the probably first second seed in that tournament is going anyway.
Hmm.
So now you got 3 teams from that conference when really you were thinking you were only going to have 2.
Yeah,
That hasn't happened a lot that year. That's what this year.
yeah.
That's what
No,
I'm saying.
no.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not really
last year.
happening this year.
And speaking of NC State, that coach is actually fired. Kevin Keats,
Mm.
a 1 year wonder, ran through the conference, got hot at the right time, made it to the Final Four, and is 86th this year.
Mm.
Gone.
Man,
Yeah,
how those numbers work.
yeah.
So, okay. All right, man. Well, I know that's not the only thing with the tournament selection that has shit moving and shaking. You
Hmm.
know, um, Bong has been hot in our chats outside of this as
Absolutely.
far as the NFL free agency goes. So we're gonna get into a little talk about the winners and losers of the NFL free agency period to this point. Um, so Bong, let me turn it over to you, man. What's jumping out at you right now in terms of who's gotten picked up and who lost who and who got who? Like, what's going on, baby? Bong, your sound, baby. Your sound. Come on, man. I
Oh,
can't turn it over to you. You ain't got the sound, man.
my
What?
bad.
Come on, man.
I fumbled the pass, man. Dribbled it off my foot. But I think
Just
the
don't
latest and
tell me
greatest.
that he touched it, that I touched it last, coach, like that one kid in that video, in that commercial.
I touched
Hey,
him last.
I touched it last,
Coach was disgusted. Like,
coach. Like, god damn.
this
good
Just
motherfucker
job.
go
go
tell
tell
him.
the ref if
He
you
was
don't
like,
get your silly ass.
he told him good job. Like, good job. Your ass is all
Oh man.
right.
But I'd say the latest and greatest news is that Cincinnati today
Hmm.
just signed um, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Man.
That's the double whammy.
Boy, were we wrong.
Were we?
Because we've been on this
Hey,
motherfucker like
T.
T.
Higgins
Higgins is
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
Hey, so them
You,
signing Jamar Chase. Go ahead, Kev. You
you,
gonna say something?
you know, Joe Burrow was standing around. They all three. It was 4 of them standing around in the room, man. It was all 4 of them. Joe Burrow was like, "Just give me my money." And Cincinnati was like,
Hey,
"Hey."
Hey.
Yeah. Then Jamar Chase was like, "Just give me my money." And Cincinnati, hey. Then
Hey.
T. Higgins, just give me my money. And they, hey.
Hey.
And then Trey Dickinson. Just give me
Hendricks.
my
Hendrickson.
Trey Hendrickson.
That's how they treated him.
Trey Hendrickson. Just give me my money. crickets.
Hey, you know what? Trey, hey, Trey Dickinson didn't get his money either, man. So you know.
Hey man, I was thinking of Hendrickson and Farley Dickinson, man. My mind was still on
Hey,
college
Oh.
basketball, man. I,
hey,
I,
you
I'm
still had
somewhere in the
college
middle
basketball
trying.
in your mind.
I'm still trying to
Oh.
transition,
Hey,
man.
Oh man.
so what they did, and I'm glad the engineer just made the comment that he made. What they did, the Cincinnati Bengals did, if you could put up his comment, DP, yeah, they basically listened to their quarterback. Their quarterback said, I need my weapons to be successful. And
Hmm.
Cincinnati, to their credit, because traditionally they've been a terrible franchise, a bottom feeder of a franchise. They must realize that they have this generational talent in Joe Burrow, and they have a window of opportunity to go and compete. And they're saying what engineers saying. We're gonna lean in on the offense because they already told Trey Hendrickson, "Hey man, um, go and seek your trade somewhere else." You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You're not gonna get that money here. And now we know why, because they tied up all their funds into the quarterback, the wide receiver one, making him the highest non-quarterback in NFL history, making
Hmm.
slightly over 40 million, and then making T. Higgins the highest wide receiver two in NFL history, making
Man.
slightly over 28 million a year. And again, it speaks to when you have a franchise quarterback, and I'm not even going to go there yet. I'm not going there. I promise you guys. But when you have a franchise quarterback, you lean into surrounding him with the pieces that are going to make him successful, or else why do you have him and what are you paying him for?
Hmm.
You know what's
Hmm.
funny, Bong? Last year, it was like this time last year. Remember, Jamar Chase wanted to restructure that contract last year.
Yep.
How happy is he that he waited,
Hmm.
took his ass to training camp, got busy,
Yeah.
and is at the table this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but it helps when you have you know, a competent and cooperative, front office. When
Now
you when you're all,
I don't know how competent
well,
or cooperative they were.
well, they are cooperative
Well, they were
because they came up with the
yeah, they
deal.
were
That's
cooperative.
Right.
why I added. That's why when I first said competent, then I had to add cooperative also because they eventually cooperated. But as far as engineer is pointing out, Bong, we all know those of you who rock with the show. Engineer is one who does rock with the show. um Bong is gonna be on his deathbed complaining about Jerry Jones, and he
Hey,
doesn't think he is cooperative or competent.
Hey, engineer, we got like a 7 minute long form video on the YouTube page, and it's talking about Dak Prescott and the Cowboys or whatever. Just go look at the comment section. I was in and out of the comment section. DP, I think, spent some time in and out of the comment section. It got crazy, but again, man, I've been trying to ring the bell for just be a competent franchise. But we're not. Again, I'm not even going to discuss that right now. Right now,
Yeah,
we're talking about
yeah,
NFL free agency,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
I think the, I think the Seattle Seahawks did a few
Mm,
things to get better.
They did.
Bringing in Demarcus Lawrence
Mm-hmm.
um, from the Cowboys as a D lineman or as a DN, bringing in Cooper Cup
Mm-hmm.
from the Los
which,
Angeles Rams.
which we were saying would have been a good look for the
yeah.
Cowboys to pick up, but of course
Absolutely. But
didn't
uh,
happen.
Jerry Jones, even though he's a billionaire, he still shops at Dollar General. He
Mm-hmm.
still stops at he still shops at the Dollar Tree, right? He's mad as hell that the 99-cent store went out of business. Like Jerry Jones still gets his soap from the 99-cent store. Oh man, they have some good sense over there. Like
uh, you guys don't have any bottles of alcohol in here today?
That Andre. Give me some of that Andre.
Oh man.
that $2 Chuck. Get some of that quality wine you guys have over here. But um, I think the Seattle Seahawks did a good job. Just getting some marquee pieces, some veterans that can
And the
help.
quarterback. The quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. So they went in. They leaned into Sam Darnold, and they
Hmm.
Yeah.
feel like he's an upgrade over Geno Smith. I think that the only reason they think he's an upgrade is because I won't make it racial, but I don't know the difference between Geno Smith and Sam Darnold as far as like what they've been or their career. Like they both had a resurgence at one point in time. I don't
Well,
see.
well, if I don't want to, if I'm not mistaken, they tried to re-sign Geno Smith, right? I
Uh,
thought they
I'm
attempted
I'm,
to
I'm
re-sign
not
Geno Smith.
I'm not
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I believe they tried to re-sign Geno Smith, and he is the one who requested to trade. So
Okay,
he turned down the deal. So it wasn't that they didn't think he was, that guy. They were trying to keep him.
that's a
okay.
good point.
And yeah, engineer says Sam is 7 years younger. So, I mean,
Oh,
there's the
yeah.
age, there's the age thing there. Sam Darnold as a USC guy, he came right out the shoot, and I think we've spoken on this previously. Came right out the shoot, got drafted, and dealt the New York Jets as his first stop. That was already a bad deal.
And
Then
and
they
some
said,
people were talking about him possibly returning there after
and he was
after
probably like, hell nah.
yeah.
Okay. Then to compound that, they said, you know what? Here's the Carolina Panthers for your viewing pleasure. Um, and it's like, hey man, like that's just too bad. You got dealt two bad hands right out the shoot, and your
Yeah.
career was damn near over. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Before
you know,
before it started.
before it even started, right?
Yeah.
And again, when
Yeah.
franchises fail to produce or to put or surround quarterbacks or any player with just competent personnel, the fault always goes on the player. They don't look at, like again, when the record books open up, and the Hall of Fame gets the call, Jalen Hurts will be a Super Bowl winner and a Super Bowl MVP. What will not be said is, damn, Jalen Hurts had Saquon Barkley. Jalen Hurts had AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goddard, the number one or number two offensive line in football, a top five defense in football. Like all those things, it's just like, hey man, Jalen Hurts won. He's a great quarterback. And Sam Darnold, damn, you couldn't do that with the Jets.
Hmm.
Well, the Eagles are a better run organization. So
Hmm.
if you put Sam Darnold with the Eagles, there's a good chance he could probably win a Super Bowl with the Eagles. Hell, before Jalen Hurts, there was Carson Wentz and Nick Foles. They won a Super Bowl with the Eagles 4 or 5 years before Jalen Hurts was a thing.
Hmm.
So it's like, organizations get let off the hook so often. And I think that if American sports ever decided to really overhaul their sports organizations, especially the NFL being the biggest one in America,
Mhm.
if you put the ownership and front office feet to the fire, hey man, if you don't have winning records or if you don't make it this far in the playoffs for X amount of, you know what, a portion of your profits go to other teams. Like you lose a portion of your profits, right? That
Hmm.
profit sharing shit, nah, we take that away. So hey, instead of getting your whatever, your 100 million or your 300 million this year, it's going to get slashed, and now it's only 150 million. And make them feel like we have to put a good product on the field, and we're just not just going through the
The
monotony of
rigmarole. Yeah, the
exactly.
rigmarole.
It's
Yeah.
Hmm.
just putting just, hey man, okay, go sign go sign this guy, go sign that guy. If we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. But people will still show up. We'll make our money off concessions and parking. And
Hmm.
even though the fans will be pissed off and hurt, they'll come back next year. And if guess what? as much pressure as we put on the players to perform, and when they don't perform, we call them out. Guess who we call out? The fans. We call out the fans too. Like, hey man, you're not a true fan. You would stick with the team through the
Yeah.
ups and downs. Why the fuck should I have to stick with y'all?
Fan shaming. Niggas is fan shaming.
Fan shaming.
So, like all those things come into play. And meanwhile, it's a billionaire sitting in a skybox who doesn't really care and is still going to make money hand over fist because
Oh yeah,
7 or 8 teams are really driving the product year in and year out.
yeah.
I know Engineer probably had a bunch of stuff to say, and he probably got some comments that are worthy of getting thrown up there. But that's just my take, man.
Let's see. Let's see. So engineer. Okay, so to be fair, uh it could be that some QBs take longer time to develop. I love the Texans, but I wouldn't say we have a competent organization at developing QBs. Same with Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
I agree. It does take some. It does take quarterbacks some time to develop. I mean, shit. Look at Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning threw 100 interceptions in his first 5 seasons in the NFL, and that gets swept under the rug because of how he was after. The man was great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does take some time.
Hey.
The the,
Hey.
the question is that will ownership give these quarterbacks time to develop? Or will they
Um,
put them in a position to have the pieces to where they can fully develop and reach their potential?
in some cases it happens. Sometimes they give up too quickly, I think, and then you'll have this rotational thing where you don't really see what you have, right?
Hmm.
Let's look at the Titans, for instance. You brought
Right.
in Malik Willis and kind of shut the door on him really quickly. You're at Will Levis, getting ready to shut the door on him really quickly.
Hey man, he's shutting the door on himself, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. No,
yeah,
no. They gave they
yeah,
gave they gave Levis a bunch of opportunities,
true.
and he showed time and time again that if I wasn't on the field, we probably have a better chance of winning with me not being here.
But
Uh,
they replaced Willis with him. Do you
right.
Yeah.
think Willis got the same kind of deal? I don't know. Like Willis didn't play bad when he came in to spell love with Green Bay.
Hmm.
So I mean that goes to show like if you would have given a little bit more time and some attention to it, how would it have worked? I'm just using them as a quick example. They're the first one that came to my mind
Yeah.
as kind of like on this quarterback
First,
And
carousel.
first quarterback I was thinking about was the quarterback from the Texans a long time ago, Carr.
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
oh
yeah.
I mean they single handedly destroyed his career. His rookie year, I think he was sacked. Engineer would probably be able to tell us he had the
And
David Carr was
Yeah.
sacked a league a record I believe that still stands to this day.
mhm.
David Carr was sacked. I can't remember exactly how many times, but it was a league record
And
for
if I'm not mistaken, didn't people think that he was the better of the two
Yes. That's what
out
I
of
he
felt.
out of
never
him
Yeah.
and Derek Carr? Yeah,
he
Yeah.
and
never
and
never recovered. He
yeah,
never recovered from his rookie season. But
yeah. So I guess
Sean mentioned it before.
engineer is agreeing. He's saying we destroyed Carr. Engineer is a Texans fan. But he says, but Carr is unique because that was our first year as an organization. So okay, that's
Okay.
a that
Okay.
that's a good point
It
to
was it
raise.
was it was trial and error on all parts.
Yeah,
They
okay.
said, man, maybe we shouldn't treat our quarterback this way. So, hey, something good came out of it, I guess. But I
But
think
but before you go further, Bong, just so with the Titans, let's say they because I've been hearing them talk about bring Aaron Rodgers in, like they should look to bring Aaron Rodgers in. But if you do that, that's not a long term solution. You're still going to have to find the quarterback, right? Even if you use him as the bridge, like we were saying, the example you gave of Geno Smith possibly being the bridge if the Raiders were to go and get Shador Sanders.
Mhm.
Right.
So then Texans, would you be doing something like that if you got Aaron Rodgers? Would you still be looking to get?
You're talking about Titans, not
I
Texans, right?
mean, the Titans. I'm sorry. Would you be looking to get a quarterback that Aaron Rodgers can groom? Because otherwise, you're gonna be starting over again, and
DP, let me cut you off there. Aaron Rodgers ain't grooming no quarterback.
Nah. Yeah,
Well,
We
he's
already know that.
that's what that's what I'm saying though. Like, is that what you're
What
expecting when
what
you
it, what it,
when you get him? He's not a long term solution, is what I'm saying. He's not long term.
what did Kendrick say? Reincarnated. Aaron Rodgers
Him
is
it
Brett
Brett
Favre
Favre. Yeah,
reincarnated. I'm not
yeah.
grooming nobody.
But let me say
Aaron Rodgers.
this:
Go ahead.
didn't he learn from Brett Favre though? He did.
Exactly.
Whether
Yeah.
Brett Favre, it's so to some extent, he still was a part of his development process.
Absolutely. Hurt people, man. And Brett Favre was hurt. He passed the hurt down to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is currently, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't get it, man. Like you have to understand, this is not corporate America where you can probably work until you're 65. Like, you have to understand that your quarterback, your NFL life has a shelf. You have a shelf life in the NFL. And Aaron Rodgers, no matter how much ayahuasca you do or whatever it is that you do or say or you think you can do, um, you cannot outlive your shelf life. And at this point, you should be trying to become a mentor to a younger quarterback. You only got a couple years left. I don't care how great you believe you are. You only got a couple years left. Try and be productive and to be a good guy in those last couple of years, as opposed to like what people
As
say you
opposed
have
to
been
chasing the
in the
highs,
past.
yeah.
Right.
chasing the high.
But
Yeah,
before we go on, I want to mention Kevin O'Connell, the coach for the Minnesota
Minnesota.
Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
He actually made comments about how teams do a poor job of developing players, especially quarterbacks, and that it's always on the quarterback, never on the organization. And as he turned around and helped Sam Darnold see a resurgence in his career, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's saying, I'm not only going to speak to it, I'm not only going to speak about it, but I'm gonna walk it and show you, like, hey man, this guy was not given the opportunity because these organizations he's been with have done a terrible job of bringing him along. So
Mm-hmm.
now that I have an opportunity to bring him along, I will.
Okay, well, O'Connell, you'll have your chance to show and prove that your words are worth something, because now you will have to do that with JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
And man, if what he's done, if what he did with Sam Darnold was anything, then I think McCarthy's on the right track. But I think McCarthy didn't really have the same success collegiately as Sam Darnold.
No, he didn't. But what I'll say about that is, and you never want to say, oh, it was to the player that got injured. They don't want to hear that shit about how things played out, and it was almost a blessing in disguise, right? I will say this: O'Connell bought himself some more time in Minnesota with this season with Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold basically bought himself a new career going forward. So he got paid. He put some more respect on his name after playing in Minnesota this year. So they both have new life, right? Because had O'Connell not done well this year, I don't know if he would have, if he'd still be in Minnesota, how much time he'd have there, right? So,
Man,
but
yeah,
now with McCarthy coming back and him having like respect on his name as well, like I think he will have the time to kind of work with him and
and
develop him.
and the funny thing, engineer speaks on the Indianapolis quarterback position and how Anthony Richardson, like, it feels like he was given opportunities and he didn't take advantage of him. He's not accurate as a quarterback. They thought that they were getting themselves a Lamar Jackson who could do a little bit of both. Obviously, we can see now that Lamar Jackson was more advanced and more sound as a quarterback than Anthony Richardson um, was,
So
right?
do you think it's time to just give up on Richardson?
Hold on, hold
No,
on, hold on,
no.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me finish. It's interesting though who they brought in to back him up. Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones just signed with the Indianapolis Colts, and if we know anything about Daniel Jones, he can run. He's got
Yeah,
wheels.
yeah.
So if you're like, hey man, we thought we were getting a quarterback that could do multiple things, that could run, that could pass, and Anthony Richardson, he wasn't that. I think you can get that from Daniel Jones.
See what engineer
I,
called him?
I, engineer called him Vanilla Vic.
Yeah. So
Um,
since Vanilla Vic is there, and it's his
I ain't
first
even
year,
putting that respect on his name.
no, I'm gonna say since
I'm
you call it,
fucking with.
since they call him Vanilla Vic, treat him like Vic was treated when he first went to the Eagles, when his ass came in for 4 Wildcat plays a game and got his ass busted up for 7 yards. Going into that with Daniel Jones.
Well,
But here,
if you laying that out, he eventually took over, which I
I,
think that's what Bong is kind of
and
leading to.
I'm
Like
telling you
he
that
might take that shit over.
if he if Anthony Richardson cannot run the offense that they want him to run, Daniel Jones will be able to do it.
I
He
mean,
can, he's not going to see what I didn't like about the Anthony Richardson experience in Indianapolis is that they were trying to make him basically a running back. Like even when it said like, "Hey man, this guy he just got injured last game, or he just got injured last quarter, or he just got injured the last play. He's coming back out. We're gonna run him again, bro. Y'all just had the training staff looking at him like 3 plays ago. Why are you gonna run him again? And then he
yeah,
gets injured. It's like you guys had already made up in your minds like this dude is not a quarterback. We're gonna run his ass basically like a wildcat quarterback. Like
but
so,
I've never seen until he did it, and I don't know what was going on in his mind, but I had never seen a quarterback tap himself out of the game. Like
yeah. I
I'm
mean,
I'm like
I don't know what's in. I don't, hey,
so
I don't know what's in the water over there at Lucas Oil, Lucas Oil
it's
Stadium, but
oil in the water.
apparently,
It's the tap water. That's what that is.
Oh man.
That's that real tap.
so yeah. So it's just, but again, I think that was a savvy move by Indianapolis, and it's awesome, man, when you see guys that you believe are great coaches, the opportunities that they'll get. Right, Shane Steichen. It hasn't been what it was with the Eagles
Hmm.
over here in
Hmm.
Indianapolis,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
the front office believes in you enough to give you more chances.
To give you grace.
Yeah. Just so you know, absolutely. It's interesting how that works, man.
Oh man. Hey,
Uh,
but Bong, let's kind of move this along because you brought up one move that the Seahawks made, right?
yeah,
And that was getting D Law, DeMarcus Lawrence.
Hmm.
yeah.
Now there was some back and forth between him and Micah Parsons, on X, um,
Formerly known as
formerly
Twitter.
known as Twitter.
Yeah,
There was some back and forth after that move was made because Lawrence said, I forget the guy who was interviewing him, but in an interview, he basically said he knows he ain't winning no championship with the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
all right.
And this was after he signed his contract with the Seahawks. And then Parsons chimed in, and there was some back and forth. So, man, what's your take on that, man? I'd like to know. Do you think Parsons is in the right in terms of clapping back? at Lawrence, or do you think Lawrence is legitimate in what he's saying? Like, man, I wasn't gonna win a title there.
Um, if you're an NFL franchise, Micah Parsons is the type of player you love. You love a Micah Parsons, right?
He's all in.
You you love a Micah Parsons.
Yeah, he's
I'm gonna
all
say
in.
that. Let me start by saying that. Okay. Micah Parsons said, "Hey, Dallas, I don't need to be the highest paid. I want to get my deal done early in free agency so that we can go out here and we can sign free agents. We can be aggressive and we can bring in the guys that we need to bring in to make this a championship team." He sees what every single fan sees and how the Dallas Cowboys, the error in their ways. Since then,
And may get some bread under the table for it. I don't
since
know.
since then, Myles Garrett has signed to
Mm-hmm.
become the highest non-quarterback. Then your boy Jamar Chase just signed to become the non-highest paid quarterback.
Oh, it's
Mike,
it's it's escalating.
a week into free agency, has not signed his deal, and I would be surprised. I would be shocked if Micah Parsons' deal gets done before training camp.
Hmm.
Even though this man just basically told you, right? Get my deal done so we can go get quality players. The Cowboys refuse to listen. And guess what? He's still riding shotgun. Jerry, I'm still here, baby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fuck D Law. And D Law is only telling you, young man,
The truth.
The
listen,
truth.
I've been here.
Yeah.
The player you are right now, I was that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It meant nothing. Like all your loyalty, all your, showboating and boasting and puffing your chest out for the team. What your boy saying? What your boy saying? What's that movie where Denzel was
Remember the Titans. The
nigga, what
team.
team?
What team?
Yeah,
You feel me? Like,
yeah.
no, bro.
Wood,
Hey, hey,
Wood Harris. Wood
did
Harris.
There you
did you
go.
see what Michael Irvin had to say on his channel?
I saw he commented on that. I hadn't got a chance to 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 listen to it yet, but I did hear him kind of speak on it a little bit on Speak for Yourself on Fox. And I know he was saying something to the effect of D Law was wrong, that he shouldn't have said what he said, or something to that effect, right?
Yeah, yeah, and he was saying like, you talk about not winning over all this time. He was like, for the past, however many years you've been there, you part of the reason why you're not winning. Also, he's old school Irvin. I'm saying, and he's one of
But
those. He's also to a degree a loyalist, where he's like, don't turn your back to the team. You
but
know,
but can Michael Irvin please recall a conversation or a rant that he had when the Cowboys didn't go sign Deion Sanders this summer? Or I mean,
yeah.
excuse me, this offseason? Can he remember how he was sounding about Jerry Jones? That's when it really came out, because A, Deion's his boy, and
Hmm.
B, it was a good move for the team.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change how the Cowboys choose to do business. They will still be the Dollar General bargain shoppers. So everybody's
No, for
saying,
sure. Like,
everybody's saying, like, listen, Cowboys, we need y'all to be more active in free agency. We don't want you guys to start your free agency the second week of free agency after all the good free agents have cleared out. So the Cowboys, you know what they did? They got active in free agency and still signed the same cheap motherfuckers that nobody wants. Still signing 1 year, $2 million deal, 1 year, $3 million deal. They got a couple running backs, got them for a year
which
apiece.
I'm
But
I'm not, like I say, I'm not completely mad about
if
the running
it's
the running backs, man. I'm not, but I know
and
you're
then
not really feeling it, but
and then Joe Burrow just went and lobbied for his two top guys to get paid and brought back. They brought him back, right? Dak Prescott who's the consummate professional. He's quiet as hell. You'll never hear him speak on it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? He'll never talk about it. He'll just come and keep grinding. He got Parrish Campbell, former Eagles, and I think um, former Eagles wide receiver, and I think the also played for the Washington team. One of the other teams, one of the other
Mhm.
NFC East teams, right? He's got signed on a 1 year deal. He gave him. They traded for what's the other guy from Carolina? The,
The
the, the wide receiver they traded for
oh
towards the end of last year.
um we were just talking about him last show. Matter of fact, I can't even think now. But go ahead. I'll get
So
Mingo,
all that
Mingo, Mingo,
Mingo.
Mingo,
Thank
Mingo.
you, thank you, thank you,
Yeah, I was
thank you.
like, damn, I know we were just talking
So
about that.
they went and got Mingo. They went and got Parrish Campbell. These are motherfuckers that they not even. They may or may not make the roster,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? Cooper
Damn.
Cup was an option. That fell by the wayside. Devontae Adams was an option. Go pair
Well,
CeeDee Lamb with Devontae Adams. Hear me out.
go
Give
ahead.
this dude real options. Now, the only thing that will let them off the hook in my eyes is if you go first round, go get a wide receiver.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, and man, we think
So
about the
Chet,
same shit a lot of times. But does that kind of give you an indication of what they will probably do in the draft? You never can tell with them, but
exactly. Yep.
but here's what I'm saying. The wide receiver market, the price tag on the veteran wide receivers has been escalated so high to where it's like you really got to pay these guys a cool amount, you know, because Adams and even Cooper Cup, like it's not
Got
super
15 and
cheap.
20.
Yeah, it's
15 and
not super.
20.
Yeah, so it's like they
I
gotta
think
pay
Adam.
it.
I think Adam still got juice in the tank.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and he deserved his 20 million. I think he could have if he could have got
but
him for 15. But I
but
hear
what
you.
I'm saying,
I hear you, bro.
15,
Yeah.
20, you want
If
to
there's
get one of
if
those
there's
guys.
if there's a market where you want to go draft, it's the wide receiver because next to
That's
the
what that's
the
what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
quarterback, D ends and wide receivers make the most.
That's what I'm
Engineer,
saying.
Pin engineer's last comment. No, 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 no.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
I'm
pretty
sorry.
sure we'll get Stephon Diggs
I'm sorry. I'm
and his
sorry.
and his bum ACL. Is it really
Yeah,
being
shout out to
professional at this
Stephon
point,
Diggs.
or just happy you're getting paid? Leaders are usually vocal when necessary. In Dak's case with Dallas, there's no need to be vocal because you just become part of the circus, right?
It's a no-win
Look,
situation.
it's a no-win situation because you're
Yeah.
going to talk, Jerry's going to use it, Jerry's going to come out and say the opposite. Look, okay, I'm just
Mm,
telling you. Look at D Law. D Law and Micah Parsons, they get into a back and forth. They say anything that you say as a Dallas Cowboy gets parsed, especially in the offseason, because ESPN and Fox Sports, they need that to move the needle on their end.
but
So that comes out and speaks.
I don't know. But to engineer's point though, or to the question, why not come out and speak?
It's one of them things, man, where they're like, man, just let us know if there's anything.
No,
And
no,
then,
no. But
and then you start talking, and then they're like, he's complaining.
listen. Dak Prescott. Okay, yeah, you got paid. It is what it is. You got your money, right?
Right.
If you really trying to win like that, at least the optics of some people outside looking in, they would be like, well, why aren't you taking a Joe Burrow approach where it's like, get me this guy? Like, I need this guy. You don't hear that from Dak Prescott. You don't really hear him.
And,
Do you get what
and,
I'm saying?
and guess what? It might be the mentality of a fourth round draft pick.
Oh, well, I mean,
But
whether
who,
it is that or not, is it's now you're talking about a leader, right?
but
You're
who really
talking
has the
about
ear
what
of
you should
Jerry?
do as a leader. Huh?
What player really has the ear of Jerry Jones, though?
But that I mean, it doesn't matter because it's all a media circus, like you say. If you have your quarterback saying something, it's gonna be out there in
It
the
doesn't.
atmosphere.
So
Even if it doesn't, whoa, hold on. Even if it doesn't, what do you want to do? Do you just want to get paid or do you want to win? Because then, if it's I want to win, you're gonna be talking some shit like Demarcus Lawrence.
no, 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 no. What I'm saying
No,
is,
yes, you will.
hold on, hear me out. Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons are polar opposites. Micah Parsons has been screaming through the roof every offseason, Jerry, go get us some help. And what the fuck has it done? Is what I'm saying. So do you want to? Do you want to? Hold on.
But
So
he is
are
not the
hold
quarterback
on.
that you are saying is a franchise quarterback. And engineer, if you can chime in and tell me if that's kind of what you're getting to, if it's coming from the quarterback, which
It doesn't
you
matter.
were saying, but I'm
It doesn't
saying
matter. Jerry
if
looks
the
at them all the same.
I know that, but from the quarterback's perspective, though, it is going to be like, are you just happy with getting your bread, or
No, so
do you want to
I
win?
and I think that we're talking about optics now, right? We don't know what Dak is saying behind closed doors, but what we're saying, what I'm hearing is we care more about the optics. The optics mean nothing. That's for us. That's for public
Who cares
consumption.
more about the optics?
Apparently, we do, right?
Do we? I mean, that's
Because
just
we don't know what Dak is saying behind closed doors. But we're saying like, hey, a leader is going to come out and publicly tell Jerry Jones to go get me pieces.
no. What I'm saying is whether you know how Jerry Jones feels or not. If you are a franchise quarterback, you know, or you would feel that whatever you say moves the needle, even if it's in the media or people talking. And even if Dak Prescott said what he said and all it was more pub for Jerry Jones and he loves it, so he's just moving right along. At that point, it's like, Dak Prescott, what do you want with your career? Are you just happy with this money and you're just going to stick with the circus that you have in Dallas? Or are you going to be like, look, man, if you don't give me this guy and this guy, this is bullshit. Like, I want to go to a contender. Would you do that? I know Lawrence isn't the franchise quarterback, but I'm just saying, like, a player of that caliber. Even if Micah Parsons was like, get me out of here, man, this is bullshit. Like, y'all not trying to do
Micah,
nothing. I'm trying to roll.
Micah doesn't want to leave either. Micah wants to stay there and enjoy being able to do his podcast and all the amenities that come with
But
being
that's what I'm
Dallas
saying.
Cowboys.
So as a passionate fan, when it gets on your nerves, Bong, then you have to realize that you're dealing with players who just are happy with being there.
No, it's not that. It's not just that.
It
I think Micah
okay.
Parsons,
Well,
he
what
wants to
is
enjoy
it? You just
he
said
wants
he
to listen, he wants to enjoy the amenities, but he's also screaming to the rooftop, go get Tyreek Hill, go get Miles Garrett. Every free agent that becomes or everybody that starts talking about I want to get traded, this, that, and the third, he's adding the Dallas Cowboys to, hey man, go get this guy for us, go get this guy for us, and it never matters. So if you're Dak Prescott and you're a psychology major, right? He's got a degree in like business psychology. Like I'm pretty sure that Dak Prescott understands what he's dealing with Jerry Jones. And optics are the last thing that he cares about. But he's gone to bat for certain people. He's gone to bat for coaches. He's gone to bat for players that were in house. And guess what happened? They still got shipped out. Jerry didn't give a fuck about that. So who is Dak Prescott going to lobby for that Jerry Jones is going to say or that the media will ultimately shame Jerry Jones into getting?
it's not about shame. That so you're speaking of optics. That's you. I'm not saying optics. I'm saying as a player who is the leader of a franchise, and as a fan, you want these motherfuckers to win or not. That's just one question I'm asking you right now. As a fan, do you want them to win or not?
You know I
Yeah,
want
just
him to win.
win.
Okay, that's a rhetorical question, right? What the fuck am I asking you that for, right? So this is what I'm saying. Dak Prescott, I don't give a fuck. You're a psychology major, whatever Bong just said you are. If you know all that shit about Jerry Jones, do what that still shouldn't stop you from continuing to lobby for guys. It's not about shaming Jones into wanting to sign this guy. It's about lobbying for what you really want. Who was it? Was it Angela Davis? Since we talking about psychology and shit, I think she said something about, and don't quote me because it's not the exact thing, but it's, you have to, like, continue to do something even if you know it's not going to change. You have to continue to act radically as if you're going to affect change, if that's what you really want. That's all I'm saying. So Dak Prescott, it's not a matter of optics or Jerry Jones. It's, I will continue being like, get me this motherfucker. Like, get me this guy. I'm trying to win. We need to do this. We need to do that. And of course, like you said, Bong, I don't know if he's saying it behind the scenes, but I mean, the indicators we have would be you're saying he's polar opposite of Micah Parsons. He's probably not. So then that's why I'm saying legitimately, engineer, I hear the question. Has Dak ever requested a trade? It sounds like Dak just likes being there. Maybe he does. That's all I'm saying.
Or,
And
or,
maybe all those motherfuckers
Dak,
do, except for
Dak,
DeMarcus Lawrence,
Dak,
because after 10 years, it wears on you. I don't know.
or maybe
but
he feels that Jerry Jones is close to being Al Davis. And it's like, I'm just gonna keep my damn mouth shut.
no, it's Jerry Jones is really not even running the show. If you have to ask me, I think it's his son Stephen Jones. Jerry Jones was the risk taker in the family because it's his team, right? And he wants to see it do well. Stephen Jones is the son of a billionaire. That's somebody that wants to keep the money in house. So the way they spend the money,
I can see that.
they always lower they always one of the lowest cash spending teams in the NFL.
So he's a businessman. Like
Right. So they're
he's the businessman,
so again, if
not
you're
the
Dak
visionary.
Prescott, if you're Dak Prescott and you understand who you're playing for, what you're dealing with, because not only here, this is the funniest part. This is the funniest part of it all. You have firsthand experience because when the Cowboys could have taken care of you after year three, they not only made you play out your 4-year rookie deal, your rookie 4-year deal, they franchise tagged you. They're saying we don't believe in you, and we're not gonna pay you long term. They showed you how they do business. So what did you do? Okay, you want to franchise tag me? That's great. Y'all go bring in Andy Dalton. That shit don't play right. Now you guys got to make me the highest paid quarterback in the NFL at 40 million a year. Hey Dallas, we already seen how we did business the first time. What are we gonna do the second time around? Because we franchised Dak 2 times the first time. We're gonna let him play his contract out all the way to the end. And Dak Prescott stared him in the face and said, "What y'all want to do?" Because I know how y'all do business. Wood Harris and remember the Titans. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do me. I'm not gonna go and learn a new system and a new organization and try and figure out, hey man, do I want to go to Pittsburgh where it's cold as hell half the damn year and this, that, and the third? I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna retire. It's almost like so when they talk about
That sounds
Dak
like I'm
Prescott,
just here.
he sounds like who? Like DeMarcus Lawrence.
Mm,
No, Lawrence
DeMar-
bounced.
nah,
no,
yeah.
no, 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 no.
Lawrence got out of
Lawrence,
there.
listen. Lawrence bounced because Dallas did not offer him a contract. So he just went to the highest bidder. Like Seattle offered me money, I'll go there. But he sounds like and with DeMarcus Lawrence's departure, the longest tenured player on the Dallas Cowboys is
Mm-hmm.
Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
So he's remember what we talked about with Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence. Micah, you're at a point in your career now where you feel like anything is possible. I'm gonna be the one. I'm gonna be the one to break the generational curse. Right? I can do that. DeMarcus Lawrence is at the point in his career where he's like, listen, man, I'm gonna tell you what's real.
No, and
Like,
and 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 I
and
and I
Dak
get that.
Prescott is reaching that point in his career where it's like, look, man, I know what it takes to win. Here's what I'm asking for to go win. You guys don't want to do it. Let me go get my money. I turn off all social media. I turn off all publications. So because I know that I'm going to get killed with hate every single day that the Cowboys come up on TV. Stephen A. Smith, who just got checked by LeBron, spends half his time on ESPN talking about Dak Prescott's contract and how he doesn't deserve it and how
Mhm.
he's not a rough rider and how his defense. Players on this defense said that everybody was good. The only person that they didn't feel was a winner was Dak Prescott. That's the kind of shit you got to deal with in the media, right? And I think you have no friends in the media. There's nobody that speaks on that has a big platform that's going to speak positively about Dak
Yeah.
Prescott. So why am I going to
Yeah,
give you
because
guys?
we're in the era of criticism and hot takes that sell, like we were
So,
Yeah.
talking about.
so
Which I really don't want to be that type of.
why are you guys going to? Why am I going to give you guys hot takes? Why am I going to give you guys clickbait? Right? Let me just continue to play my game, live my life. If we win with the Dallas Cowboys, we win. If we don't, I'll retire. I was a 4th-round draft pick. I've done a lot of good things off the field. NFL Man of the Year. Um, you know
You know what that sounds like?
what?
It sounds like your spirit is broken.
Hmm.
And it happens.
Yeah, no, I know. And I'm
Yeah.
saying that's what it sounds like,
And
which kind of goes into like I'm here. Like
and that's why I was so pissed off at all the fans that were attacking DeMarcus Lawrence. Like, do you know how much you had to go through as one of the faces, one of the leaders of the Cowboys for all these years? What was it, like 10 or 11 years
yeah,
that DeMarcus
like
Lawrence was
10, I
there?
believe it was 10.
Mhm.
And all the times that you guys got this close and couldn't win, like it's almost like damn near like they're cursed. Even the games that they're always competitive. In those playoff games,
And
it's
he was
never,
getting busy.
yeah. It's never like outside this Green Bay game where they got the doors blown
Yeah,
off of them.
yeah.
They're typically competitive, but it's always a play here or a play there down the stretch that turns the game on its side, and you guys lose in a competitive fashion. It's one of the top rated games of the year whenever it happens, but you guys can never get over the hump. It's almost like a curse. You start to feel that shit. Like, no, this team cannot win. So, Dak had a chance to fucking walk away and go get his money elsewhere from another team. He's started a life in Dallas. He has a daughter. I think his fiance might be pregnant again or something like that. But whatever the case may be, Dak is settling in as a family man. Listen, man, let me just enjoy the beauties of life.
Which
He lost.
again
He lost.
doesn't
Listen,
lend to I'm trying to win. I'm trying to
I,
win the Super Bowl. So this is all I'm saying to you, Bong.
I
Okay.
am very happy to be here.
Yes.
Eddie Murphy are coming
Yeah.
through.
Yes. Fuck you too. Um, this is all I'm saying, Bong. This shit get your blood to boiling, man. And these motherfuckers is paid and just happy to be there. So it's almost like what do we do? Is it stuck between the rock and a hard place? Is it just are we also going with the flow as fans because we know what it is? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like I like
and I
this
really,
this has been basically since birth
yeah.
for me, right? And I
yeah.
and my brother would see me when I watch games and stuff, and I would be pissed, like and yelling. I started like just disconnecting myself from the shit, to be honest with you. Like I stopped tapping in and following news and all this other kind of stuff like you do. Like cause you're on it. And I used to be like on it like that, like, man, what's up? What's up? Now I'm just kind of like, I know what's going on, but I'm like, man, I also know what's going on. So I'm not really going like,
and and I'd love to track Micah Parsons' career in real time, right? To see that moment, to see the date, to time step the date when the world realizes, yeah, he's got to that point now. He finally doesn't believe in Santa Claus. He finally doesn't believe in the Tooth Fairy. He
mm,
finally doesn't believe in the Easter Bunny, right?
mm,
Like there's no golden eggs that pop up in your yard with dollars
mhm,
and cents in
mhm.
them, right? And like, no, that shit is not real. Micah Parsons, I love everything he stands for, but everything he's saying, the Cowboys are contradicting all that he's going after with all their actions. Michael Parsons still hasn't been signed. Somebody that said, I want to be signed early so that we can attack free agency. And the team
Mm.
said, no, son, that's not how it's going to work. You're going to have to give us a chance to get this
So
media run and drag your name through the dirt and talk about how we could get so many picks in exchange for you. And
But
how
Bong, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna lay it right back to you because I want to quit pause, but I want you to answer this thing. Who was more correct in the situation with Lawrence and Parsons? Like
both,
who's right? So
both,
both.
both,
Okay.
they're at different points in their career, and Micah right now, he's been the greatest. Um, he's been the greatest. He's been the greatest leader, vocal leader for the Cowboys since their 30-year drought.
Okay.
I don't think they're
That, so
both
that-
right. I don't know if they're both right though. I think Lawrence is right because Lawrence isn't lying about anything. He's telling them the truth, and Micah is blinded by the
by
fantasy.
by his truth, he's
He,
living in his truth right now.
he's
He
but he
really believes.
but he hasn't been signed yet. So it's like you haven't been signed. You're willing to take less. They haven't signed you. So in this situation, you're wrong.
No, he's not. He's right in that he believes. Like all it
How,
takes is his belief. He
how can
believes
you
that
how can you still believe and you haven't been signed yet?
again, it's his jaded.
Is it delirium or
It,
is it
it's
Yes.
it's his jaded reality,
Yeah.
right? You're defending a team that hasn't even shown you the money.
but Bong, that speaks to your point to where you say he is the perfect type of player that you want as a franchise. You want a guy like Parsons who's all in, regardless. I ain't been paid. We ain't winning. We losing key players. Like I'm still in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you mean this Titanic is sinking, nigga?
He's playing musical chairs
Like
right
what?
now. They're going round and round in circles. They're like we playing musical chairs. The music hasn't even cut on. And he's just walking around in this circle, like, man, they gonna turn this music on soon. I'm about to win, baby. I'm about to win.
Hey,
The music isn't on.
it's I don't know if
as
engineer's
as a-
talking
as
about D Law or Micah,
I think
but
he's talking about Micah. I think he's
yeah,
talking about Micah
but
because he
again,
addressed it to you.
yeah. So I just believe that Micah Parsons has been the greatest vocal leader the Dallas Cowboys have had in their 30-year drought because he is in year 4. Is he in year 4? Or he just finished year
I
4,
think
going
that
into
was
year
his fourth.
5.
Yeah.
Going into year 5, and he still believes. He wakes up and runs to find out if Santa ate the milk and cookies
But as a
that he left him.
fan, that's what you want.
We want that, but what I'm telling you is that Santa is literally telling you, I don't exist.
It's the
The
rock
cow,
in a hard place, Bong.
the Cowboys.
That's what
So,
I'm saying.
then what I'll ask you next is he just doing this and saying this for the money, or does he
Um,
really care?
you know what? Uh, it would depend. We will see because you said you doubt that a deal gets done before
Training camp,
training camp.
because the Dallas Cowboys will. This is the Cowboys way. This is the Cowboys way, and what they're not willing to do is budge on how they do business.
But if he's not
Micah,
doing it for the money, he's gonna take a low ball deal or a
but
lower
what I'm
deal.
saying, but hear me out though. Once free agency is come and gone, and the draft has passed, and now we're at training camp, and the Cowboys haven't really done anything, what happens then?
That well,
I'm
according
not.
to what you're saying, he's not gonna
I.
be trying to break the bank.
But what I'm saying is, he said, I'm not trying to break the bank. For what reason? Because I want you guys to take this extra money and attack free agency. That's what everybody. Go look at the comments of that
No,
7 minute video. Hold on.
I hear
Hold on,
you.
hold on, hold on. Let me just say this. Let me say this though. That's what everybody's accusing Dak of. Hey, Dak, you taking 60 million is the reason that the Cowboys can't compete because they can't go out and sign free agents. The Cowboys didn't go sign free agents when Dak Prescott was making $400,000 a year. You guys made him play out 4 years on that rookie deal, making $400K a year. Do you know how much fucking money you guys had to spend and
Yeah.
still did not go and sign free agents. If Dak Prescott took 50 million instead of 60 million, the Cowboys would have the exact same roster. So,
Right.
Micah, after you get your name ran through the mud and you
And they
realize,
don't do anything in free
and they
agency.
don't do anything in free agency, go get your highest paid non-quarterback
Do you
money
think
because
he's going to do that? That's what I'm asking you. Because you asked me, I'm saying
hey,
if he's going with the first notion that you said where it's not about the money, then
watch
his
this.
stance will remain constant too.
Watch this. If all those things take place and he goes into training camp without having a deal signed, without the Cowboys signing any big name free agents, and without them addressing a lot of their needs uh, via key players in the draft, that'll be the first time that Micah sees his mom putting um, the gifts under the Christmas tree
The
or
tooth,
Okay.
snatching the
sneaking,
tooth.
Sneaking $1 under there and or,
sneaking the $2 under his. Why this nigga's got crust in
yeah,
his eyes? Like, man, what the fuck is going on? Oh,
that,
that'll be the first time.
or he
That'll be
go
the
and see
first
the
time.
dollar and the tooth is still there too. Like, why she didn't take
Right.
the tooth? I thought that was the point. Like, um,
So again, maybe that's the realization. One more thing I want to mention about the Cowboys. They restructured Dak's deal. They restructured CD's deal to create $50 million in cap space.
yeah, they're
Right
like
now,
top 10 now
but
in cap space.
if they don't use that money to go sign any notable free agents, then they just did the restructures for no reason, and that money is like the
No,
restructure is
I know.
pointless because it
Yeah.
creates the cap space for you to go sign other players. But after this year, that shit means nothing.
Right, but then Bong, a lot of stuff will be telling too because at the point of the realization where the tooth and the dollar is still under the pillow, if Micah Parsons says, "Well, fuck it, give me my money," then you also know that at that point he's not all about just the winning anymore. Like
No,
that's out the door.
he's about the winning,
I'm
but
saying it
like
won't be all about the winning because no, hold on. Because then at that point, he is taking more of the money away from what he said it should be used for anyway. Because he feels like it won't be used that way. So it's like, fuck it, nigga, give me the money. What does that mean? Now it can't be. Absolutely can't be done. So it doesn't. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like what were we saying last time when I think it was KP was saying something, and then we were like, "You got me going in circles." Wah, 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 wah.
but
So
what I'm saying is, if you're saying, it's like saying, okay, I'm worth 41 million, but I'm gonna take 25 million, even though the Cowboys have shown that they're not willing to spend. But hey, if I can save the team some money and devalue myself for no reason whatsoever, like there's no reason to take less money if they've already shown you that they're not going to spend that money elsewhere. Like you came out, you guys talked about it. Dak not being public enough. Micah has come out and publicly laid himself
yes,
out there for the Cowboys to have their way with him. Have your way. Do what you will.
yeah,
And and they still won't take advantage to help the team. He's saying, "I will let you have your way with me in order to better the team." And they have said, "No, we will not better the team."
yes, and
So at that
accepting
point,
the money, we're saying the same thing. I'm saying accepting the money is a fuck it moment.
Yeah.
That is a man, fuck it. That's a
Man, just
fuck
give me
it
the
moment.
ah,
So that's not about the worried about the wins anymore. That's a fuck it moment. Like you still want to win, but it's like, hey, fuck it, man.
come on,
and
man. Come on,
that's the
Yeah,
engineer.
engineer, pause if need be. You know.
hey, he, that was what the fuck did I say Michael was doing? Have your way.
Oh yeah, pause.
Hey,
Oh
you know it's
shit.
late. You know it's late, man. That's
Nah, but
delirious.
we saying the same thing, Bong.
Yeah,
We saying the
and,
same thing because I it's and it's just a fucking moment. I know he would still want to win,
and
obviously, because he has that drive, but it's fuck it.
that's where the
Like
transition
I'm
happens.
not tripping on it. Just fuck
That's
it.
where the transition happens. That's where DeMarcus Lawrence, the Cowboys, made him go
Say
fight
fuck it.
for his second contract. And Stephen Jones was telling them, we can't pay you. He went in that moment and said, fuck you, I'm talking to Jerry Jones, give me my fucking money. And they paid him. Like, he had to go do all that to get his money. This is not a franchise that cares about winning. This is a franchise that cares about the name recognition. They care about the brand over the substance of the substance or the quality of the product. So
in the board meeting, they it's all these points, and then at the bottom it's like, and hey, if we happen to win,
then we
great.
win, right? They're more concerned about getting it right for their corporate
Oh
sponsors.
fuck.
They don't have like they're one of the more lame fan bases in like actually in stadium, right? The music is toned down. They don't play rap. They're trying to they're trying to um, appeal to the what does the Texas corporate partner look like?
Mm.
Whatever that is what they're trying to appeal to. So guess what? Most fans, you're not gonna get buy-in from most fans because most fans they want to get it. That shit used to drive me crazy. Every playoff game we lost to the 49ers. The 49ers come in with the big boom box,
Mm-hmm.
Debo and Trent Williams walking in, they playing Kodak Black and some crazy shit, and the Cowboys playing Thunderstruck. They playing some goofy shit. Like you ain't and then you wonder why every playoff game, right? You wonder but
Hey,
you
no
wonder why
disrespect, y'all.
you wonder
play
why
play the slow songs, wondering why they moving slow. Why the hell are they so lethargic out there?
but I was just about to say that. You wonder why in these playoff games the other team comes out so jacked up, and your team comes out and they're it takes them a quarter to get rolling. You ain't giving them a reason to get jacked up to get hyped. It's like, hey man, we got to do a couple of interviews for the corporate sponsors. Say something in the camera. Hey man, have a great game today,
Yeah,
guys. We're gonna
yeah,
win.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Nah, like y'all niggas, like y'all don't. It starts from the top, bro. It starts from the
yeah.
top.
Nah,
And if
I
Dak
feel you.
Prescott and D Law were at the point in their careers where it's like, fuck it, just pay me, I can't be mad at that. I
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Anyway,
And that final countdown shit be getting me hyped though.
It do what? Oh no.
Nah.
yeah,
Bong,
man.
It's the final countdown.
we used to hum that booty song pause by by Fabulous.
Oh my god.
It was Fabulous, Mace,
Oh, the
and what's
I forgot
the
who it was, but
Benzino.
that booty was like boom,
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 boom.
boom. You don't remember
Oh
that?
man. I don't
I
remember. I
see
gotta hear it. I
booty.
gotta hear it.
I
I gotta
see.
hear
Yeah,
it.
Okay, so no, it's G Dep. It's G Dep, Fabulous, and Benzino. That's who it is.
I gotta go back and listen to it.
G Dep's talking about, too young is a man in China, so what? She could buy a Grey Goose with a loose vagina.
boom,
That's one of the
boom,
bars.
boom, 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 boom,
But
boom, boom, boom,
anyhow,
boom, boom,
this
boom,
is the beat we
boom,
used to do to get
boom,
us
boom,
hyped right before the game.
booty.
Well,
Yeah.
we didn't say
But
booty.
pause. We didn't say booty. We just
We didn't
did
say
the.
booty.
We would boom, 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 boom,
Boom,
boom,
boom,
boom,
boom,
boom,
boom,
boom, boom,
boom,
boom,
boom,
boom,
boom,
and we would
boom.
just be like, swaying before the game,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden,
that shit turned into
I'm
techno,
just
brother.
saying, we listen to different kind of music. We had different kind of cultures on the team.
Yeah.
We had some Hispanic folks, white folks, black folks, and the white folks kind of turned it into
Boom, 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 boom,
boom,
boom, boom,
boom,
boom,
boom,
boom,
boom,
boom,
boom,
boom,
boom,
boom, boom,
boom.
boom, boom,
We,
boom, boom.
me and Kevin were in the huddle one time, looking like, and we just would go into it like, oh, oh, like, what
What the
happened?
hell is this?
Put a little twist on it.
Right?
Oh man, dog.
Oh shit.
Yeah, man. I was done, man. I was
Hey,
done.
and that's the way it was done from that point on, every time.
Yeah.
Bump, 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 and we was just like, okay. Uh, but
I don't
yeah.
even. I don't even think they know the song, dog.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't
They
even
just
think they know the song.
they just went off of what we were
Yeah,
doing,
they
and
were
we,
like,
you know,
Yeah.
man, that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Listen, I believe it, but it changed the energy though, right?
Uh, maybe he got them hype. I just thought it was funny.
No, what I'm saying is it changed the energy for you. Like it didn't get you hype,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah. Like it was like,
So
oh,
imagine
okay.
got you got a team that's 70% black men under 30, and
No, for
the
sure,
type of
for
music
sure.
that they
Yeah.
listen to get hype, and you come out with some bullshit because you're trying to appeal to what the Texas corporate sponsor looks like, and we know that that's not a 24 to 30-year-old
No,
black
no,
guy,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
So again, how are you setting your team up for success? Like, just give us something to get. Well, I want to get hype. I want to get. Now we gotta build up our momentum from ground zero because in our home stadium half the time because y'all motherfuckers don't care enough or don't listen to the players enough to do what we feel is necessary.
Hmm.
That's all I'm saying. But
No,
anyway,
I
man,
feel
we've
you.
been going on for a little bit over 2 hours. I know we got to wrap this thing up.
Yeah,
You know, always fun to get it popping.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
Man, so before we let y'all go, definitely like, share, and subscribe. The Holy Trinity. We appreciate it. You dig, you dig. Um,
Yep.
you got something to
Two
say?
two peas in a bong and a bong's baby.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Two peas and a bong and a half. You dig? So yeah, man. Anyway,
All
we
right,
out.
y'all. We out.